Today I fucked up by saving my graphing calculator from my burning house. We've all heard the question, if your house was burning down, what 3 things would you grab? Some people choose their grandmother's wedding ring, or their birth certificate. Very important things, right? Things you can't live without, right? Yeah, apparently my dumb ass thought, oh, you know what's really important to me? My fucking TI-84 graphing calculator. Better save that. I wasn't home when the fire started, but by the time I got there the firefighters were able to get my pets out alive. I have 2 dogs and a cat. They were unconscious when they found them, but these heroes gave them doggy mouth to mouth and rushed them to the animal hospital, lights and sirens all the way as if they were wounded soldiers. It was honestly incredible and I will never ever forget them. After we got the animals checked into the hospital and several vets assured me they would be okay, I went back to the house to collect important items. The entire house is basically destroyed, so there wasn't much to choose from, but I did grab a bag of clothes, which still smell like smoke after running through the wash 3 times, so if anyone has LPT for getting smoke smell out of clothes, let me know. And my graphing calculator, which is apparently built Nokia style because somehow that fucker still works. I am a 24-year-old woman kicking ass in a mathematics degree program, and my family's reaction to this situation flips between, oh honey I'm so sorry about what happened, and, ha 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 nerd. So I don't have any possessions, but at least I still have a way to do fucking calculus. Too long did not read. My house burnt down and the 2 things I saved were 1. A bag of clothes, minus socks which I forgot. 2. TI-84 graphing calculator, apparently more important to me than socks. Well, at least you can calculate the cost of all that stuff, and the temperature of the flames at 7:23 p.m. during the humidity level of 38% at a temperature of 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Try using pine sol in the wash with your clothes. Then drying them in the sun. Not a foo. You made sure dogs were okay first. You got some clothes. Everything else is your choice. Fly that nerd flag proop LT. This reads like you were in the house with your dogs and left them behind to save your calculator, which is horrifying. It's not until the end that you reveal the calculator came from the rubble afterwards. Having used a TI-84 all throughout school, and it still being here after not studying for 5 years, can confirm that it is an essential. Plot twist. Your T-84 started the fire. I have heard vinegar is the way to get stank out of clothes. I am so sorry about your place. Glad your pets are okay. I got the smoke smell out of our clothes with a mix of Dawn, baking soda, and a splash of vinegar. Still took multiple washes, and some things flat out never stopped smelling, but did manage to salvage some things. Sorry about your loss, it's a huge thing to deal with, but at least you and the pets are safe. Definitely taught us to appreciate what's important and not dwell on things. That said, you're gonna be remembering odds and ends that are lost for years to come. Today I fucked up by giving blowjob while having GERD. I have the worst case of GERD. My eating schedule is pretty strict so that the GERD doesn't relapse, like I always have breakfast at 7 a.m., lunch at 12, and dinner at 8. Last week I went on a date with this dude that I really like. We have kinda like a fuck buddy type of relationship. So I was supposed to meet him at 12 p.m. noon, to go eat somewhere, but he came late because of some issue and met me at 2 p.m. We talked for a bit when we met, then we went to go eat at 3 p.m. I haven't ate anything all day by this time and my stomach was starting to act up. But then we ate some pizza and after that we went back to the car to fuck. While getting the mood on, I was already feeling kind of nauseous from eating late, but I ignored it because I was hella horny. I gave him some blowy and he came in my mouth. When I went to spit it out I didn't realize that the thing that I spat out is not only cum, but also puke. So, yeah. I puke on his dick. I was embarrassed as fuck. Legit, this is my most embarrassing thing that happened in my adult life. Thankfully he's not that mad. Not that I think, at least. He even comforted me more than he needed to. He said that if anything he thought the incident was funny and hell of an experience. And even better, he didn't ghosted me after that. Learning lesson. Don't give someone blowy if you have stomach issues. TLDR, I puke on a guy's dick because I have GERD and haven't ate all day. Edit. Gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, is a much worse version of acid reflux because the symptoms could happen at least once or twice a week. This is a chronic disease that occurs when stomach acid or bile flows into the food pipe and irritates the lining. I too threw up while giving a blow job, so I know how you feel. I was super embarrassed even though my boyfriend was understanding and not upset. I can tell you from experience it's forgotten very quickly. I've had a few sex blunders and they're always the quickest embarrassments to get over. You can't help it if your body reacts a certain way. It could also be worse. I've lost control of my bowels during anal and that was the most humiliated I've felt. Most guys don't care. A girl lets me cum in her mouth, I'm not going to complain about some vomit. You gave 110%. TLDR, I puke on a guy's dick because I have GERD and haven't ate all day. Just say, sorry I can barely handle it all, and you turn a foo into an easy win. Have you tried seeing a gastroenterologist? They can probably prescribe stuff to fix your GERD. Also, if you haven't seen one yet, you definitely should, as GERD can lead to Barrett's esophagus, which has an increased risk of becoming cancerous. Edit for context. I too have GERD. However, since getting on my current meds, I almost never experience it, unless I eat a lot of acidic food. What the hell is GERD? And here I am paying women to throw up on my dick. GERD gang. You can't be mad after a blowjob. No matter what you do, I don't think it's possible for him to be mad. Today I fucked up by getting my companion's mom high. So obligatory this happened yesterday. 21 I'm a bit of a stoner. I also love to cook, so trying new recipes is always a task I'm down for. Flashback to 1 week ago, I'm as toasted as a campfire marshmallow and eating some of those Pillsbury cinnamon rolls. I get this bright idea to make some cannabis-infused cinnamon rolls. I have a bread maker, an oil infuser, and a lot of time on my hands, so I get straight to work. Although this delicious treat had some very potent oil, I'm a well-seasoned pothead and know what I'm getting myself into. All in all, for those interested, I'd say each roll, I made about 30, were anywhere from 80,100 mg of THC each. I believe a standard dose of THC is 10 mg. But I mask up the weed taste quite well with the cinnamon sugar and a homemade frosting with maple, pack it up into containers, and stick them in the freezer so they can last a while. Now we will skip ahead to yesterday, Christmas morning. Now I love Christmas, even though I am not religious and wasn't really brought up in a home that celebrated, it's still one of my favorite holidays. What makes it better is that my companion, 22F, and her family are super into the holidays, so getting to spend it with them is an absolute joy and pleasure. But being that I'm staying over at her parents' house, I of course don't want to bring my raw greens to smoke and stink up the neighborhood, so I bring the edibles. I will note here that I put them in a Tupperware labeled XXX and stuck them in the most unnoticeable place in the freezer, so nobody would try to eat them. Nobody ate them on accident, thankfully. This is not one of those stories. But here is where I foo. My companion's mom suffers from a condition that has partially paralyzed half of her body and has made it very difficult for her to move around. Because of this, she's been getting more into legalized hemp products to help relieve some symptoms. I let her know that I brought these edibles with me that contain THC and she's more than welcome to have one if she'd like, to which she agrees. Before really thinking about it, I pick out the smallest roll, pop it in a microwave, and serve it to her. She eats it, loves it, and then I leave to see other family for Christmas Day, with the intent of coming back later. I get a text from one of my companion's sisters 3 hours later saying, "Mom is absolutely toasted right now," and I can't help to giggle because I'm sure she is. But then it dawns on me how I made the edible specifically for me, someone who had a high tolerance and smokes every day. I wanted the edibles to kick in and feel strong even if I, an absolute bong behemoth, was already blazed. And I gave one, even if it was smaller, to a small, half-paralyzed Catholic woman who has probably taken a hit of a joint once or twice in her entire life. So she wasn't just toasted, she was absolutely zooted. Like imagine bouncing on clouds while Strauss's Blue Danube is playing, but it's the middle of the afternoon on Christmas. And the family's traditional Christmas dinner has yet to be made. So by the time I get back, companion's mom is glued to the chair she was in when I left, unable to really move at all, but boy was she smiling. She couldn't get up for dinner. Hell, when bedtime came she couldn't even walk up the stairs to bed. She had to stay and sleep on that chair. Companion's father ended up cooking the whole dinner by himself. I tried to help a bit at the tail end, but I could tell he was pretty frustrated that I intoxicated his wife so much that she couldn't even stand, understandably so. Let's just say I got quite a lot of side eyes and glances from the family last night. But they were all very nice about it, reminding me that it was just a human mistake and maybe try to be a little more aware next time. They really are a great family. So I feel absolutely terrible that I couch-locked my companion's mother for all of Christmas. But hey, I guess this is one for the books. She told us before bed last night that she has had an epiphany during her high but needed to wait until she came down to articulate it to us. So now I get to enjoy breakfast and hear all about the drug-induced learning experience I put her through. I'll update with her newfound wisdom. TLDR. I baked potent edibles because I have a high tolerance and gave one to my companion's mom who doesn't get high often without thinking about how strong they would be for her. She couldn't move from her chair until the next morning. Needed to wait until she came down to articulate it to us. Am dead. Also, Zooted is gonna get some use by me. My money says she won't remember her epiphany in the morning. LPT. Write that shit down. Everyone else here is replying normally when I can't get over the fact that op used companion like this as some sort of Firefly convention. The family expected a paralyzed woman to cook dinner? What the hell? Maybe it was okay for her to have a day off. The formatting. Tupperware tears of joy loudly crying. That was hard to read but entertaining. Please update the formatting when you speak of the epiphany.